Hi everyone, my name is Nastya and I'm Jessup Ukraine National Administrator. And this year we decided to reinitiate our initiative, Jessup Talks. This is video format in which we are having interview with prominent Mood-Card Society members. And today we'll have a talk with Viktoriia Stavchuk-Mulundkar. Hi Victoria.
Hi, Nastya.
So I will start with very basic question. Please, can you kindly introduce yourself? Tell us about your career path and mood court path and how mood courts influenced your career.
Yes, absolutely. My name is Viktoriia Stavchuk-Mulundkar. I am currently working as Senior Associate in CMS Cameron McKenna Nabarro Olswang here in Kiev. I started mood courts even before Jessup. I first participated in Telders mood court for 2 years. That was my initiation into the mood courts, and I got into that by accident. I just there were like friends of mine who were going to the tryouts. I wasn't even going to go there, but I had nothing else to do. So I went with them with barely like any preparation, to be honest, because that was not my goal. But out of all our group, I was the only one who was selected for the team.
Wow.
And that's how it started. My first year was a researcher. Then next year I was like an active participant, and I remember we didn't advance with our Telders team, though I did get the best oralist award on the national round, and that was a moment I remember, which that was a true initiation. My first time at the podium as a Telders participant, I remember that as a very vivid moment till today. I stood up. I was obviously very nervous, and I looked at the bench. I started talking, and at that moment, it felt like the ground just disappeared under my feet. Everything was blurred except for the bench and the judges who were sitting there, and there was only me. There was them. There was a wonderful conversation. I enjoyed it so much that when the national rounds finished, we had Telders rounds in Odessa that time. And our way back from Odessa to Kiev, we were sitting on the train with our team, and we were like, okay, so what's next? Jessup. Yes. So we moved whole team with our coaches actually. We moved to participate in Jessup, and that was the year which I got into this full time and long term, so to say. I yeah. So it was my first Jessup season was 2010, 2011. I've participated only once because it was my last year of university, and then I coached. I coached 3 wonderful teams. All of those teams were special in their own ways. They all went to DC. They all won, were champions, and we advanced higher, or I mean to the different level, but that was wonderful. And of course, then I went to judging, and now I'm judging still, and taking other roles, sponsoring on behalf of CMS, obviously, and just supporting community as much as possible. But yeah, the overall, I think Jessup was, is, and will be a very good and uh, sufficient part of my life.
Okay, so next question will be connected with Jessup and the vital role which it plays in the lives of Mutras. So my question is, what makes Jessup community so special from your perspective?
I think that is a unique combination. We have, on one hand, a place that gathers very different people. So we have students who are coming to competition. We have like law firm partners who've been here for many years. And these two categories, which are basically on the opposite side of like the spectrum, the legal development spectrum, they meet in one place. They meet in the same room. They meet basically at the same like forum, networkings or just like the rounds, between the rounds, and have an opportunity to have direct talk. Uh, I mean, with people who otherwise probably would not even have a chance to meet, would not even have a chance to like face each other. But here we have this opportunity, and it is done even though there is like there is a difference between the status and the categories. Somehow Jessup gives a step up for the students, and like the like senior legals, all the partners actually kind of step down from their pedestal when they are Jessup, and we meet in the middle. We all meet in the middle, and we have this common ground to talk about, to share, to it's like a connection point for so many people, and at the same time, this I'm talking about just like the difference between like, the categories of people who go, who you can meet and how you can connect. But then we also add up the geographical diversity, and even when we're talking about national rounds, the students from Kharkiv University and from Lviv University, they meet, they share, they connect, and they have something to just to connect on and go on with. Yes, like we say that there are a lot of friendships and like long-term relationships that start from Jessup, but even when it doesn't develop into like day to day, it's still something that somehow connects. Just recently, I had a like question for work that I was trying to look for an answer, and I could not find it. And then I just noticed on LinkedIn then that one of I mean, like someone I know from Jessup is working in an organization that should know the answer to this question. So I had this chance to just like text her and ask like do you have a moment to talk? I just want to ask something, and I got immediate answer yes. And we connected, we talked, and even though we do not stay in touch day to day or even month to month or year to year, last time we saw each other was maybe like 5-6 years ago, but just because there was something at the beginning that connected us, it still connects us still today, and that is something that you can always kind of um, I don't know, like start off, use as a basic ground to approach someone. Um, I don't know. I mean, of course, for me, that is something about Jessup community. I have not seen many communities outside of Jessup that would have similar nature. I bet they are, but just because we are here, we experience this from the inside. That is like that feels amazing, and it feels great to be part of this community.
Yeah, that's true. As always, people like to say that Jessupers are like Masons. We are everywhere, and that's great that yeah, you like probably can find Jessuper in each and every organization, and that's great. Firstly, for career opportunities, and secondly, for your personal development, because like this is different perspectives, different backgrounds of people, and this is very interesting to like extend your bubble and yeah, have more connections. So my next question will be about the maybe life lessons or unexpected skills which you gain during Jessup. So yeah, you mentioned that Jessup is more about connecting people, making people equal in like if we can say so, and this is about community. But maybe you faced something that you didn't expect to gain from Jessup, but still you noticed that it influenced.
Uh, well, I mean, yeah, Jessup community is all about people, but of course, Jessup competition is wider than just community, and there are a lot of things that are like that you unexpectedly gain through maybe like through any competition, but this specifically because you go in with an idea. Okay, I will learn international law, or at least like some basics, some aspects of it. Okay, I will advance my oral skills, my writing skills. This like hard skills related to like being a lawyer and like soft skills. And then somehow you end up with an idea that okay, you are not doing this alone, you are doing this with the team. So you become a member of the team. For some students, that may be their first time that where they become the member of the team, where not only you need to make sure that you are working for the benefit of the whole team, but you also understand that your personal success will always depend on the other members of your team. Uh, um, it is very hard to be individualist in Jessup because even if you are the best speaker ever, like the best oralist, if your team haven't done a decent job, your skills will not like. I mean, of course, they will be relevant, but like you cannot just care about yourself. You need to make sure that you are sharing your skills with the team, that you are working together. And if someone is better in research, someone is better with presentation, the only way that your team can advance and succeed is by working together, combining that, and finding the common ground. I remember when my team, when I participated, and there was like this like final days of drafting memorial before submission, when all of the main parts were already like drafted, where they were combined, we were like reviewing. Of course, we were over the word limit, so we had to cut. And I remember this meetings that like days long, we were sitting and arguing whose argument needs to be cut, what needs to be taken out, what needs to be redrafted, and then things. And there was this moment when we were just basically the five of us. We had five people in the team. It was one laptop, five of us sitting in front of it, and just together reading together and deciding on the go. Okay, this sentence, can we shorten it? Can we cut it? Is it necessary? Can we rewrite it? And that is the ultimate joint work of the team, where you are not like working separately and combining, but you are working together. And that is something that I personally did not realize means to work in a team before I entered Jessup. Because even my first year as researcher in Telders, I remember that was more kind of everyone doing their part, combining, and maybe doing proofreading once or twice together. But this joined in the full meaning of the word was not there. And that is something that we had in my team, and something that I introduced and very much to the team that I coached, because I think that is very, um, very liberating to understand that you are responsible for your success, but you are also responsible for the success of your team, and your team members are responsible for your success as well. This is joint effort always. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that comes to mind. Another thing, which is probably also unexpected, but because this is a competition, it always teaches certain level of humility, like not, like humbleness. Sorry, humbleness, because you are doing the best job you can. But there is always a matter of chance. There is always like some things that can be unexpected. There are always some subjective things, subjective opinions of the judges, or like something else that influences the outcome, and you may come out with a result which is different from what you expected. And sometimes you can actually humbled in a very harsh ways, but it is good to get humbled that way in a moot court competition rather than in real life, because that helps to look at the world differently and come to the real world with little bit more of an armor, readiness, and some internal instruments of how to deal with that, how to manage that. I have my story of humbleness is from my final round when I was competing. At that moment, we had I think 12 or 13 teams in national round. So we had two teams going to DC. Both finalists were going, and we knew that. So when the final round is just a matter of deciding who goes as a champion, who goes as a runner-up. And the more when we were getting ready for the final round, I was supposed to be an oralist in the final round, and we were supposed to play an applicant team. And then the morning of, we got a call from the national administrator that our opponents, they got an emergency. One of their team members got an emergency, and they could not play a respondent, and they asked us to switch the sides, basically like 2 hours before the round. Which I mean, due to like circumstances, like our coaches and like our team, we agreed to that. Of course, that alone created a huge amount of stress, just because you spent a night thinking that you're going to be an applicant, and then the morning you are immediately switching sides. And we were sent their memorial to, because like as a respondent you need to know what is there. I was reading that memorial on my way to the round in metro while I was going, and with already stressed eyes, I spotted arguments that I have never seen before. I got stressed even more. We were trying to like quickly prepare, understand what to say. Everyone was on a high note. We got into an argument with our coaches about like something, and I went into this like final round with a complete mess in my head. And then, of course, like the opponent's team, they started talking as applicants, and they were excellent. They were very good. They were, I mean, really, like better than everyone else we met at the national rounds up until then. So I looked at them like, they are so good. I am a complete mess. My co-agent goes first. He is doing a good job. And he gets bombarded with actually all of the applicant team and my co-agent get bombarded, like get a lot of questions. So we have very active bench, and I'm thinking, okay, we have active bench. In my head, I prepared a short version of my team, my speech, which I'm gonna say, expecting a lot of questions. And then, but when I go, I'm nervous. And when I am nervous, I speak very fast. So I start talking very fast, and basically so fast that the judges cannot even interrupt me with their questions. And I go through my whole speech for the third argument, which I had in my mind, uh, uh, with barely getting one or two questions, because I'm just very, going like that. And then I realized that I'm finished. I start my usual, like, if you do not have questions to the third argument, and at that moment I see the sign that I have 15 minutes left for the fourth argument, which never gets this much time. And I realized that, okay, I messed up. And I remember this phrase, which I literally said, if you don't have any questions to this submission, please. But, but which was such a, like a cry for help. And one of the judges actually helped. She asked some question, which was, of course, not enough. I answered that, but then I had to move on. So I moved on to the fourth argument, which by that time I realized that I'm talking too fast. So I started talking very, very, very slow. which did not help at all. So, of course, I was talking. I got a little bit of questions, but I think the judges were, I don't know, maybe they were sorry for me and they thought that they are making it better for me. They are not asking much questions. But of course, it didn't help because I said on fourth argument, I told everything and I knew all alternatives, whatever were in my mind, everything they said in their applicant said in their pleadings, everything they said in their memorials, and then some arguments which they could have raised in their memorials or oral pleadings, but they didn't do it. But we're still responding to that. That was a year with a corruption issue as the first one, so there were a lot of things actually to talk about, which were never talked about. But I said everything, and I still finished. I think so. Like I was talking, I was waiting for 1 minute sign. I was like when 3 minutes, I slowly started doing my prayer for relief, and then when I saw the 1 minute sign, I just immediately stopped it. Thank you. This is it, and I left. That is the most humbling moment in my Jessup career. And to be honest, that was a very humbling in my life when I realized how much things, like outside things, when they affect my inside, they manifest. And we lost the final round. We went to DC as a runner-up team. We still went to DC. That was not a decisive day for us. We were very much upset. I was very much upset with myself. I was upset with our coaches because they even agreed to this whole switch sides. I was upset because I wasn't getting, I mean, like the arguments that we were getting, and then like things, this, that. I blamed a lot of things and like the circumstances that happened that affected my speech, and it took me a long time to realize that. I mean, circumstances can happen like they happen differently in Jessup, in life, in work, in personal. So it's not about how you like how circumstances affecting you. It's about how you react to the circumstances. And the main factor that led to my disaster of a speech was not the switch of the sides. I've done respondents before. I've done respondents after. I was fully prepared to do respondent. I actually loved the respondent side for my case. But I got into so much stress about this thing that stress got to me. That I completely read wrong into the room, into the situation, and I let that affect me. So yeah, I mean that's just I mean that's my tale, which I liked to tell my teams, which I coached as well. You know how things can happen like very unexpectedly, and you cannot be prepared for all the things that are going to happen to you, but you need to somehow like manage your attitude, and if you learn to do that, that is the real, you know, like marker of you can succeed through the various circumstances, or you cannot succeed as long as you do your best through all these things. Yeah, so I think humbling and understanding that okay, you may be good, but things can happen, and under certain circumstances, under certain stress factors, you will not be as good unless you actually manage to somehow withstand that stress and look at things differently.
That's true. Sometimes things happen to us, especially when we are under stress, and this stress is really can be pushing, especially during competition when you are preparing for half a year and you want to show the best side of yours, but sometimes, as you said, things can happen. So my question is, what advice can you give to participants? Um, in the matter of how manage this stress, how to calm down yourself.
I mean, that is, of course, like in competition, same as life. You know, you need first of all, and that took me years to understand. So I don't expect students to actually be good in that. But from the uh, tower of my experience, you will get into stress. You will be nervous. That's okay. That's normal. That's expected, and that is a good thing because being nervous just is just the way of your brain and body telling you that hey, this is important for you. We are a little bit scared. We are in this little bit of kind of like anxious situation because we understand that this is something important for you. So we want to mobilize you. We want to mobilize your body, uh, but our brain is essentially our animal brain, you know. So what are the ways of mobilizing? It's like adrenaline spikes and like our heart racing, and like all the blood going to our feet because maybe our brain thinks that we need to run and escape, which is not what we need. We need our blood in our brain. So what helps is actually training yourself to kind of, and that is helpful in all kind of situations that like, hey, I am not in front of the tiger. This is not a tiger following me. This is not life or death situation. This is not life threatening. This is not even like health threatening. This is important, yes, and I want to do good, but this is not a threat. So grounding yourself helps, and that can be done through like affirmations. Like this is not life threatening. This is not a tiger. I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need to run. This helps on like a physical level. I mentioned this during the webinar which I was giving. When you uh, like before going like to your podium, you understand that you are nervous. um, Ground yourself. When you stand at the podium, don't just grab your podium. Just give your hands some this ability to grab the stable surface and stand on your feet. Why I remember even I noticed for myself, I mean, uh, you have less stability when you're wearing heels for ladies, of course, so sometimes it helps not to wear heels, just to make sure that your feet are fully on the ground and that you can feel the stability of standing straight, grabbing this something, and that gives your brain an idea. Okay, we are not on shaky ground, we are stable here. um, Breathing, of course, helps. Getting a sip of water, but I also, sometimes because I mean, water helps when you have like dry mouth, but not even for that, because that you grab something, you put it, and your brain's like, okay, she has time to drink water. Probably that means that she's not running away from the tiger, you know. So very small things, they help. Of course, on a larger scale, you learn about your body. You know how it manifests the stress. For instance, for me, like I know, I knew then, but now I know for sure that when I'm nervous, I'm talking fast. That's my defense mechanism. I'm talking as fast as possible, So knowing that, I kind of in advance train myself to slow down. I know that even if I think that I am talking very, very, very slow, to people it will probably sound as a normal speech. Just because my brain is rushing and so much in that moment that my words are matching the brain. But when I do that, when I like physically, consciously slow down my speech, that also slows down my brain, and the stress goes down. So uh, it goes, from there is this theory, like you smile first and then you feel happiness. Kind of, if you don't feel happy, just like smile and it goes there. Like the signal goes to the brain, something like that. I don't know how exactly it works, but sometimes it works. Grounding your body and doing things consciously on purpose, which you would do in a calm state, actually help you to calm yourself down. Um, I mean, I'm talking about things that you do in the moment, at the moment of speech, at the moment of presentation, like when you need to do that. How to manage overall stress from the competition? That's I cannot say that I mastered that myself. So then or now, I mean, we are all living under a lot of stress now. Uh, so, yeah. But the main thing that we need to remember, I think, that this is competition. Uh, Out of all the things that good, it's still a competition. It's not life or death. We will all survive the competition, I mean, and like no one, like the loser is not hanged. Uh, so, I mean, there are no losers to be fair, but the thing is that whatever you go out with, you always go out with something that you didn't have before. But most importantly, you will be alive. So don't put uh, fear into like somewhere where it doesn't belong here. And in the competition doesn't belong. There's nothing to be feared.
Yeah, that's true. That's just a game, and we need to have fun during the preparation and during taking part in the game. But yeah, I've noticed that often myself also I was so serious about the competition so that sometimes I forget that this is a game and I need to have fun.
Well, I do believe that you should to take this seriously if you want to advance. I mean, if you are getting into this, taking it seriously is okay. Uh, but take taking that into the level of like not even like seriousness, but when you are scared. So taken seriously is one thing, but being scared, being so stressful and nervous and scared that it affects basically the physical work of your body, that is too much and that is unnecessary. So that's why a little bit of nervous will always be there. Certain kind of stress will be there because we do want to succeed. We do want to take this seriously. Yes, we do want to put in work and effort, and of course, putting in effort means that we want to gain something else, and you will gain something out of it. Maybe you will not gain something that you will not go out with the crown of champion and something like that because someone turned out to be better than you. Mm, but you will go out with a better version of yourself anyways, and that is already a win. So just not crossing into the fear territory, that's something that I would advise because fear paralyzes,
Yeah,
and fear holds you back from actually being a best version of yourself.
that's true. So, and I guess I will have last one question. Do you have any like advice for future participants who will be watching this video, or to the teams who are proceeding to Washington, like general?
Well, it's, I mean, a different, I mean, I have a lot of advice to teams proceeding to Washington, but that's because that coach is still in me, and I would like to give that, but not my role anymore. Um, thing is that yes, basically what I just said, like you go in, you will gain. You go with the mind of getting out of this as much as possible for yourself. And for each person, it can be something different. You know, for someone, gaining most will be getting a career boost. Actually like meeting all those partners and things and making connections and then making sure that you get a good job or like the job of your dreams. And that will be, so the Jessup will be just like a stepping stone to your best career life. For someone, that will be people. Maybe someone wants uh, to have this like opportunity to meet, to create connections and lifelong friendships and stuff. Maybe someone just wants a chance to actually like go and visit US, visit Washington, stuff like that, and that is okay. In fact, so you just just make sure that you put your heart into this and your mind with an idea of getting what is important to you. Get as much as possible, um, and that will be a win. Uh, of course, we want our teams to advance in DC, and because they are excellent teams, and I think they have very good chances. Both of our teams have very good chances of getting good results. So and I don't want to say that any result is good, of course, but any result is yours. And that is, so as long as you know that you done as much as you could, that you put your heart and soul into this, but like without, of course, sacrificing your heart and soul, but actually putting it in a good way, and you gained what you wanted, and you got the result that you got, that is yours. Own it and hold it, and bring it out, with like into your life as a badge of honor, basically, because whatever it is deserving, you know. And for future Jessuppers, um, welcome, join. It's fun. It can be a lot of work, and it should be a lot of work, um, but it is rewarding. It is rewarding regardless of, uh, because the reward is not about the placement on the like team's rating. It's not about which place you take, or like where you go, or what kind of grades like you get. The reward is in attempting something that was difficult, going through that, managing it, and just like having an opportunity to say, "Oh, I have done that." That challenging task, I've been through that. So the reward is in this feeling of accomplishment, and that, oh, I've done that. I've accomplished this. I grew through it, because we all grow through whatever the result is. We all grow through rounds that we through good rounds. They're like my Telders round, which I felt was very successful for me, that I felt so inspirational about, and I remember, and that was a feeling of like flying above the ground, really, and that was my best round in terms of how I felt about it. I feel that I managed all the questions, and I had the feedback from the judges that I did very good, and from my coaches and teammates that was a very good round on my part. Like everything was good. And then I had disaster rounds, like my final round in Jessup, which I mean, no one argued the fact that it was a disaster from many things, but I grew through both of them. I gained lessons and and insights through both of them. So whether you have a good round or a bad round, in any rate, on the other side, you will be a little bit better version of yourself because you learned something through that. So yeah, that's probably like my final advice. Don't be like worried whether this round will be good or bad. Of course, we all want good rounds, but even if you have a bad one, which will happen for everyone, don't be scared because that will also be good for you ultimately.
Yeah, that's true. And then you're like finishing all competition being proud of yourself that, yeah, I managed, even if it was so stressful and even if it was complete disaster, but still it is in the past and I managed it. Yeah, so Viktoriia, thank you a lot for such an
Thank you.
inspirational conversation. I'm inspired again, but unfortunately I can't participate in this now. But I'm sure that all viewers of our video also will be inspired. So thank you, and thank you for putting your heart and soul to Jessup for so many years in so different roles. And thanks CMS Cameron McKenna Nabarro also for being a strategic partner this year and for long years that CMS supports Jessup.
Every year for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very important part of us to support Jessup. And we are always happy to see Jessupers in our walls for interviews, internships, work opportunities. That is our pleasure to be a home to a lot of Jessupers for work-wise.
So I guess now yours will take note that we need to apply to CMS. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.